Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hey, Ollie, PayPal donation sent. I've learned a lot from you and the contributions made on this channel. I really have absorbed what you told me from a story I've submitted to you back in October about my narc dad. I've gotten better, and I'm not over explaining myself and just accepting my family for who they are. In this contribution, I'll be talking about my mother. I think she might be avoidant, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a bit hard, no matter how much I search on YouTube or online in general, to find any resources on avoidant parents. So I'll tell you a bit about her and let me know if you think she's just that or a straight up narc. She's definitely emotionally available, no question about that. I've limited my contact with her, even though there wasn't much outreach on her end to begin with. For the viewers listening, my current situation is this. I'm on my own, married, and no contact with my son husband type narc dad. It took me a few years to heal to get to this point and actually function like a healthy coping adult. I am a millennial middle child, and my parents were born right at the cutoff years of the baby boomer generation, early 60s. My mom left an abusive home herself and met my dad in her early 20s. In my younger years, I would notice that she never really talked or made eye contact with me. She didn't talk a whole lot at all to anybody. She was a bit reclusive, and any disagreements they had were behind closed doors at first. Nothing she said in front of me as a young child, but I could definitely pick up something that was off between them. Later, when I was older, she would straight up physically leave the room when they were together, when he started his silent beratement. I couldn't hear anything in the other room, but I knew he was at it again. Something was going on. Sometimes she'd actually yell back, and then he'd act like she was the crazy one. She was definitely driven to that point. She never yelled back unless provoked. One time, Dad left on another business trip. As usual, we saw him off at the airport. She just walked away after he started passing through security, didn't wait for us, and didn't respond when I asked her what was wrong. It was just agitating for her when we asked, so I just silently took it. It really hurt, and it was confusing that nothing was explained to my siblings and I. We just kind of had to accept it when she was like that. She worked night shifts at the hospital and would come home and sleep all day. I can understand the burnout, having worked a similar job in that field myself, but at the same time, she seems like a workaholic. She goes nonstop, and it seems like she needs something to take care of physically, but there's no emotional investment, like nothing. And this is what she does. She invests herself in physical tasks and jobs so she doesn't have to invest herself emotionally. So she's always the hard-working victim. Like nothing, I think she spends a lot of time at work as a way to cope or avoid her problems with the state of the house and my younger sibling who still lives with her. I've noticed this red flag with the rescued house pets too, but that's a different story, and that's too long for this contribution. If she's rescuing house pets, then she is showing love to things that can't reject her, things that she can control. And I'll tell you what, my mother used to get real fucking nasty when my father was off on business trips, because she was like, oh, he's off having a good time without me. And then what it was, I think, was when he would come home, she still needed another target to shoot at. So things would be worse when my father was away on business trips, because he usually come home with a fucking suitcase full of porn magazines anyway. Because, I guess buying a fucking Cherry magazine in Atlanta is different for some reason. I don't know. Her way of any form of connection seems to be through asking me questions about my hobbies or what subjects of any sort that I'm interested in. That's the pattern I've noticed all these years. I told her I was getting bullied at school, and she would tell me to stop feeling sorry for myself and just brush them off. I didn't have many friends or talk to anyone, so it wasn't really helpful being emotionally stunted and not sure what action to take on the matter. I had trouble reading people enough as it was back then. As an adult, I tried to tell her that I needed to get out of a relationship with an ex, but wasn't sure how to go about it. Another time, I tried to tell her something was wrong when my dad was driving me to a point where I started to break from the constant gaslighting and questioning, as mentioned in the previous video. And both times, she seemed distant or too busy until shift. She said she believed me, but acted inconvenienced. Her SO insists that she loved me more than I know, and perhaps it's true with financial and provisional support when needed, but emotionally, Ollie, there's nothing there. My gut feeling says something is off no matter what everyone else says. But as stated in my last story, we do get along and have pleasant conversations as long as I don't bring up how much anything that was said or done or how much it's hurt me in the past. I was still in denial about it, I guess. She also never calls. I'm also the one to reach out or initiate any form of communication, so I've stopped reaching out completely. Your mother's a robot. Your mother's an emotionally devoid robot who, because she's a robot, she never thinks to actually initiate contact with you or initiate love. She's good at faking it when you're in front of her. But you have to be right in her line of sight to even for her to remember who you are. If you're not in your mother's line of sight, she's gone. Which is why at the airport, once if she's distracted by somebody, boom, you're gone. You're out. You're a distant memory. She doesn't even remember you were fucking there. I listened to one of the submitted recordings on your channel a few days ago about the young woman who was adopted and talking about a dream about her dad, and I cringed how much the mom there sounded and my own sounded alike. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I'm tired of questioning. Thanks. What I will tell you is, unless you're in your mother's line of sight, she never even thinks of you. Never has, never will. Because she's emotionally devoid and eternally selfish. She's just a covert narc. I mean, your mother's just a covert narc. She's better at hiding it. Where she's not going to be outwardly aggressive, but she will never give you a second thought unless you are sitting right in front of her. Every time she sees you, she has to be, it's like, oh yeah, I have a daughter. If this is a case is like when if the narcissist never saw you again, she'd never even give you a second thought. She'd forget you even existed. That's the reality. That's how you feel. If you didn't reach out, if she never saw you again, if you weren't in her direct, and I mean physically see you, they forget you even exist. That's what you're dealing with. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your contribution and story, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. Thank you to anybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you guys. Without you all, this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.